it's my duty to introduce to you Mr. Daniel Handler, who, according to Wikipedia.com, is an American author, graduate of Commodore Sloat Elementary School.
That's true.
TLDR. He's perhaps best known for playing the accordion on the Magnetic Field's 69 Love Songs, but he's also written several books for adults, a short story collection, songs, films, an orchestral symphony in the style of Peter and the Wolf called The Composer is Dead, many illustrated books, including the young adult novel Why We Broke Up, the delightful children's book The Dark with John Klassen, a favorite of mine, among other works, and he is most infamously the representative of Lemony Snicket, who is the author of a series of unfortunate events, and now the new ongoing series, All the Wrong Questions.
Thank you.
I would love to know, I've seen some interviews with you, and I've talked to you, and we've hung out a little bit, and I've never known how you started writing in the first place. Was it always a passion of yours? Did you study writing in college? Did you always want to be a novelist?
My parents tell a story that when I was about 6 years old, someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and that I said I wanted to be an old man who lived at the top of a mountain giving advice.
So you've achieved that.
Now, if that's true, and my parents are liars, then that was another plan I had. But I don't remember a time when I didn't want to be a writer. I thought it was a glorious thing to do, and it was always something that I wanted to do, was to be in the company of literature in one way or another. It seemed to me the place to be. Mm-hmm. That's why I like to do things like come to a book festival where I feel I am among comrades who also feel that way, who feel the slight alienation day in and day out, brought to you by the ordinary world, who wish we were all reading instead. Maybe we should all just take out books now and read them. But yes, I always wanted to be a writer.
And now here you are. How did you come to write books for children?
I was, in fact, at work on a Gothic novel that I intended to call A Series of Unfortunate Events. That was about terrible things happening over and over in a Gothic setting. And then I began to think, well, what would really be more interesting is if these things were happening to children. It's just narratively more interesting, I think, right? Man falls out of window. Like child fall, oh my God, how did that happen? How did the child fall out of the window? But I knew in my heart that such a book would not be published for children. And then I began to think, well, it shouldn't just be one book, because the only thing more interesting than terrible things happening to children in one book would be 13 books of terrible things happening to children. I have said before that the books just failed to fail. I thought they would be miserable and no one would be interested, and things kept happening that it was like getting a stay of execution every time. I'm still astonished by it. I'm astonished by it all the time. Wherever I go, I am astonished that anyone is interested in such a thing. I always thought I would be a strange writer in whom no one took an interest, because those were the writers who I felt kinship with. And it's been very strange to me. So I've never gotten used to it, and I'm consistently befuddled and grateful.